With the release of Season 7, we now have 7 seasons inside of the Flash series, so today I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 7 seasons of the Flash, ranked from the worst to the best. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SDubNation, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 7 seasons of the Flash, ranked from the worst to the best just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. Don't forget to check out that Arrowverse playlist up above. Like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, let's just move right into our ranking. Kicking off my list at number 7 for me has got to go to Flash Season 7. The newest addition to the series and also the newest addition to the Arrowverse isn't all that good for me. I mean, I enjoyed it watching it from week to week, but the COVID pandemic really messed this season up. It felt like the writing just wasn't there. The showrunner just didn't really do a great job with the season, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie that there aren't any good to great episodes. I mean, the Godspeed arc is really good, but overall, mostly this season just doesn't do anything for Barry until the finale. There are pep talks after pep talks, not enough of Barry, and the Forces arc just sucked. There was a bunch of grown people calling Barry and Iris dad and mom. I like the idea of it, I like the premise of it, but come on. The thing that saves this season is the Godspeed arc and seeing Impulse and Nora come back and finally Barry being a speedster in the end. I wish I liked it a little bit more like how I enjoyed it week to week, but it just didn't come together for me. Coming in at number 6 for me has got to go to Season 3. Season 3 is a season that I know a lot of people don't really like. I know a lot of people don't like Savitar. I enjoyed this rewatch of this season. I enjoyed Season 3 a lot. Barry brooding is actually pretty okay for me, to a certain extent though. The Flashpoint arc, I really do wish that was longer so we can see Barry explore this world before having to leave it and eventually, facing the consequences of it for the rest of the season. But they didn't go that route. I actually like the fact that we get to see the consequences of Flashpoint though early on in the series, so then going forward there's really no tension that we have to break. We can just move forward here on out. This season has a lot of likability to me. Like I said, I really enjoyed it on my last rewatch. And it has some of the charm as the first 2 seasons. But it does take a dark turn for the series to have Barry in Oliver Queen mode for like 23 episodes. But like I said, I just think that seeing the consequences of Flashpoint actually worked for me. It's just not the way that I would have done the season. Kicking off my top 5 list for me has got to go to Season 5. I mean, I used to love this season. When I first watched this season, I thought it was a breath of fresh air to have Nora in there. Like, I love the idea of Nora coming back from the future. It's pretty interesting for me. I also love the character of Nora. She's this bubbly, cute, and naive personality, but she's also hiding something in the mix. I believe that this season tried to go for more of the vibe of the earlier seasons with the corniness, mixing in the family dynamics, emotion, the family tension, the drama, comedy, as well as the heart. But the Cicada stuff was very strange to me. He and she just kept getting away. Like, both versions of Cicada just kept getting away. And I didn't even find that part of the season all that compelling. After we got done with the male Cicada, I thought that the female Cicada just did not work for me. Even Nora turning evil, it just did not work for me. The season slows down very much in those last couple of episodes. It felt like they was just milking that plot line so much because Cicada just kept getting away. And even though when I'm watching the season, you can see, okay, that's how Cicada got away. That's how Cicada got away. But it still doesn't make up for the fact that he gets away from speedsters. I like the idea of a metahuman killer, like a Zodiac metahuman killer. But overall, I just believe that they should have done something a little bit better. Maybe how they did in the future with splitting the season into 2. I think that would have actually benefited this season a lot here. Especially if they were going to go for a villain like Cicada, who's not a speedster. At number 4 for me has got to go to Season 6. A season split into 2 halves because of Crisis. I thought that was a nice change of pace. Something that Season 5 definitely could have benefited from. Something that Season 3 even could have benefited from. I think that the pre-Crisis version of this season is the better half here, because you can see the tension and the level of drama that comes with Barry dying in Crisis, the emotion of him having to tell his team that they need to move on and protect Central City without him. I loved seeing that in those episodes, and the anticipation of Crisis coming was great for me. When I'm watching the season, it's great for me to see that anticipation of Crisis, knowing that Crisis is about to happen the next day. I loved all of that. Post-Crisis is more of a slow part, but I still love how they incorporated past Flash things and villains as a result of Crisis, especially the consequences of what Barry did to the Speed Force during Crisis. This season was very good to me, honestly, because Crisis is a big weight on Barry's shoulder, and once that's done, he has to deal with the consequences of what they did inside of Crisis. And I like the fact that they did it inside of this season, because they did split the season into two halves, let both storylines breathe a little bit more, and it all worked out for the better. Kicking off my top 3 list for me has got to go to season 4. Now, I used to hate this season. This was at the bottom of my list last year. You can go back to that ranking up above. It's actually not that bad. I mean, once you actually pay attention to these seasons, like season 4 of Supergirl, season 4 of Arrow, once you actually pay attention to it, the seasons are not really that bad. They found a way to incorporate the comedy and drama into this season that really worked out for me. The Thinker is a really good villain, though the body switching was kind of cheap. His singular backstory episodes relate him to Barry and also to the audience. We get new characters like Elongated Man to liven up the feel and the vibe of the show, give a lot more energy to it. It has a lot of entertainment value in almost every episode. The Caitlin and Killer Frost relationship is just so good, and I thought that the wedding episode inside of this season was also pretty good with the Crisis on Earth X crossover. I thought that was the best crossover ever. I just think that season 4 has a lot of likability to it, that if you really do love The Flash, I think you should definitely check out season 4 and actually pay attention to it episode to episode, because last year when I was just binging all of these shows, I didn't pay attention to a single episode inside of season 4. Ever since I did my rewatch of this season, like literally a couple days ago, I have been all about season 4 and about how I've been wrong about it. My runner-up at number 2, surprisingly enough, has got to go to Flash Season 1. You guys know that this was my favorite Arrowverse season. This was my favorite Flash season. It's just a breath of fresh air for the Arrowverse, in my opinion. Barry Allen is brought to the limelight as a perfect contrast to the dark and serious Oliver Queen. The mystery and tension of Harrison Wells make the reveal of him being Reverse Flash so satisfying when him himself, Eobard Thawne, reveals himself. The season is just corny, heartfelt, as well as charming, and a huge gamble for the CW that worked for me. But the last couple of episodes to me are mainly just them in investigation mode for Harrison Wells. They're trying to recruit Caitlin to see the different side of Harrison Wells. And for me, that's when it kind of slowed down for a bit. But don't get me wrong, this is still a great season. I can go back and forth all day on my number 1 and my number 2. But this year, today, I'm going to have to go with season 1 as my number 2. But coming into my number 1 has got to go to season 2. During my last rewatch of this season, I kept thinking in my mind, is this better than season 1? I hope it's not. I hope it's not. And by the end, I thought it was better than season 1. Zoom is just such a threatening villain. Like, this is the height of Flash. He's getting dragged through Central City by Zoom. Like, that's so cool to me. They decided to play on the audience's knowledge of the comics this go around and the multiverse and the different Earths, and they play on our emotions and our knowledge of that to introduce, air quotation marks, Jay Garrick, who is actually Hunter Zolomon, Zoom. I love that Barry is dealing with his life after the first season, and we kind of fill in the blanks as the first episode goes on. And now Flash is like a public figure. He's got coffees named after him. It's a very nice progression of this side of the Arrowverse, a contrast to the show Arrow. We also learn about the multiverse and we explore different Earths that makes this universe a whole lot bigger. And there's actual tension and payoff to the Jay Garrick reveal because they also play on our emotions and knowledge of what we know about Barry's father and also doppelgangers in this universe. And I thought that the Jay Garrick reveal was a very cool surprise. On my first viewing, I didn't even realize that that was going to be like the actual Jay Garrick. The story just flows naturally from episode to episode in this season, especially with the introduction of another Wells and also Wally West. This season takes emotion and drama to new levels, as well as up the action and expand the world of the Arrowverse a lot here. This is why season 2 for me has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list. And you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 7 seasons of The Flash, ranked from the worst to the best just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. Don't forget to check out that Arrowverse playlist down below in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.